This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 840 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip, with the assistance of Becky Bass from Centaur Forge, is all about the many different types of nails and adhesives used to hold horseshoes on horse hooves. And we'll get right to our tip after this important message from EquiSketch Apps.
Glenn the Geek here. The life of horse person is hard enough, and we all hate doing the required paperwork, and unfortunately many of us never get around to it, and it just piles up on our desk. That is about to change thanks to the EquiSketch Records app for your iPhone or iPad. My wife and I use it to track our horses, and we absolutely love this thing. EquiSketch Records is the most thorough and complete equestrian records app on the market today. We love this app because you can track your farrier work, your dental, your coggins, medicines, worming, and so much more. And you can get reminders on your device when all of these things are due. You'll never forget a worming or shots or farrier visit again. But it not only tracks your horse, you can also manage your horse shows, including individual events. You can manage riders, including lessons and memberships, and so much more. And you can sync it between your iPhone and your iPad, and all of this for the price of a couple of cups of coffee from Starbucks. Search for EquiSketch Records in the iOS App Store or go to equisketch.com. That's EquiSketch.com. EquiSketch.com.
And welcome back once again, Becky Bass from Centaur Forge, here to help us out with Horseshoes 101. How are you doing today, Becky?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous because today it's all about the nails.
You nailed it on that one.
Oh, listen to you. You're smarty. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the horseshoe nails because they're not just, they're really not even a little bit related to the kind of a nail that you would hammer into the wall to hang up a pitchfork. First, tell us about how a horseshoe nail, what makes it different than a regular old nail?
The shape and the different heads and the different sizes.
Aye.
The horseshoe nail is basically made, and this is one thing I give every farrier credit for. When they hit it into the horse's hoof, it's actually made so that it curves out and comes out the hoof wall. And if it doesn't do that, then something's wrong.
Uh-oh.
So,
yeah. That means there's a vet bill next, right?
That's right.
Uh-huh.
So there's one side where it's actually flat, and then the other side where it actually it tapers up and then kind of curves up towards the head. And you have to know when you're putting the horseshoe nail into the horse's hoof exactly which way goes which way, because if you do it wrong, it could be a big problem.
So there's an inside and an outside to a horseshoe nail.
Correct.
Oh, how about that? Now, there are different size horseshoe nails. Is it like a regular nail in that it comes in different lengths and different, it's not really diameter because it's not round, or is it that they're always the same thickness but different lengths?
No, as the horseshoe nail sizes go up, also the thickness of the shank also goes up.
Uh-huh.
And then the other thing too is there's different styles of heads. So sometimes you want your horseshoe nail to stick up just slightly over the shoe to give you a little bit of traction, and then there's some of them that are just set flush with the shoe, and then there's some of them that they actually use them. For example, horseshoe nails with borium on them, which actually gives your horse traction without having to use studs or borium, welding it to the shoe, or, tungsten carbide pins.
Isn't that interesting? So you can put the borium on the horseshoe nail. Now, I would think that putting the borium on the horseshoe nail is going to have to be pretty exacting because the top head of the nail where the farrier hits it with his hammer has to be a consistent surface.
Oh, yeah, and the They're really nice. They're really easy to use them that way, except for they are very, very expensive. Where most nails, you can get them in a 100 count box, 250 or 500, or even up from there. The boreum nails, they get to be quite pricey. So when they're talking like a box of boreum tip nails, normally they're around $50 for a box of 100. And a box of 100 count nails, like a regular box would be around $8.
So that's a significant difference. Now, a horseshoe nail is a horseshoe nail is a horseshoe nail. Unlike the horseshoes themselves, they're always made out of the same type of metal, or are there different materials being used nowadays?
No, they're all pretty much the same type of metal. And, of course, different name brands, people like, one name brand better than another. Some might like Keepwell, some might like Delta, some might like Vector or Liberty. I mean, there's just as many name brands out there as you could as there are horseshoe nails themselves.
So the difference in the brand is going to be subtle styling differences in that the flare might be a little greater or a little less from brand to brand?
Correct.
Aha. But now back to the horseshoe nail size again. It gets pointy and then it gets fatter towards the nail head. Do they make such a thing as a long skinny nail versus a long fat nail?
Oh, yeah. So if you're looking for a long skinny nail, then you would want a slim blade nail.
Oh, they have a fancy name for it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it goes on from there. Besides that, you have your race nails, you have your city head nails, you have your regular head nails, you have frost nails, mud nails, combo nails, E-slims, regular head, and E-head slim.
Yikes!
Nobody said a farrier's world was easy, did they?
Wow, who'd have thought? I thought they were just fat and skinny and that was it.
Nope. And then beyond that, you go into all your lengths. You have the number 5, the number 6, and just because it's a number 5 nail does not mean it's 5 inches long.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, no, it's scary sometimes for the people who say that they want a 5-inch nail, and I'm thinking of the poor horse that they want this to go on to.
So it's like a 10-penny nail is a certain size. It's got nothing to do with inches. So a number 5 nail, it's a proprietary measurement system that they only use for horseshoe nails.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Of course they do, to keep it complicated so us amateurs don't know what they're talking about.
Of course, every profession has its vices.
It has its own. They have their own lingo. Now, in this day and age, you see more and more people talking about shoes that are, quote, glued on. Tell me a little bit about the modern state of horseshoe adhesives.
Actually, adhesives are getting better and better every year. Everybody, wants to try and perfect the glue-on shoe. And there are adhesives out there that will work with steel, aluminum, and the synthetic shoes. One of the popular ones that we use, or that we sell, I should say, is the Vetech Adhere or the Vetech Superfast. And then with the Superfast, you can actually create your own shoe because it sets that quick that you just put it onto the horse's hoof in a horseshoe pattern, and then you can rasp it down or file it down and make your horseshoe just the way you need it.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool to watch the videos or watch a demonstration of them do that. And then we also carry, there's other name brands as well. There's Equilox, and there's a billion and one adhesives, just like there are nails and horseshoes. So
with horseshoe adhesives, you mentioned that they have adhesives now that you can glue on different types of shoes, because when horseshoe adhesives first came out, adhesive A only worked on horseshoe B. So nowadays the farrier has a lot more selection in that he can use an aluminum shoe but still glue it on. Is that how it's working nowadays?
Yes, it is. And it works out so well for the horses that have really thin walls, or their walls are too brittle, or, they have the crack down their hoof wall, and they don't want to take that chance of pounding a nail in and things like that. So it is really marvelous how far the acrylics and adhesives have come through in today's technology.
So let's say the farrier wants to glue on an aluminum shoe. Are there special aluminum shoes made to be glued on in that they don't have nail holes?
No, you would nail on the normal shoe that you have with the nail hole. It's just they would want to make sure that, they'll put like a pattern, kind of like when you're laying tile down, that they always put that pattern in the glue.
Yes.
So you would put like some sort of a pattern or, rough up the edge going towards the horse's hoof on either the steel or aluminum shoe. And they, the procedure for cleaning and, wrapping and making sure the horse's, the hoof is picked out and cleaned and trimmed and everything. They would apply the glue then to the shoe and then put the shoe onto the horse's hoof, make sure it's all lined up, and then they can wrap it up with like plastic wrap or different, Equicast or whatever they need to wrap it up with until the shoe is set on the horse's hoof, and then you're all good to go.
Huh, isn't that fascinating? So the glue-on shoe is here to stay, it sounds like.
Yes, it is, and it's really has helped a tremendous amount of horses. Like I said, those hoof walls cannot always take the nailing. Or if you have somebody who's foundered or has laminitis or just can't do that's a lot of trauma on a poor horse when you nail on a shoe.
Yeah, or horses with white line disease can have issues and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it is really good that the acrylic world has expanded itself to be able to cover just about everything.
Well, that's fascinating. Once again, I've learned something new. I didn't know that nails came in such an enormous variety of sizes and shapes, and I didn't know you could glue on a steel shoe. So those are two biggie take-homes for me, Becky. Tell our audience where they can find Centaur Forge online and how they can get a hold of you.
Well, you can see us online at www.centaurforge.com, and that is CENTAURFORGE.com. Or you can give us a call at 1-800-666-9175.
And that's a wrap. To listen to more tips on everything from barn care to websites for horse people, just go to horsetipdaily.com and look for the Topics drop-down menu on the left. And don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they make these podcasts possible. This podcast has been brought to you through the generous support of Equisketch.com. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.